Absolutely. I'm just switching here over to the up next view so we can see the maps.
Indeed.
So obviously you can see there is TWA on the north spawns and Axis on the south spawns for all three. If we end up with three, this is the best of three. So the first map will be Warrior's Path, and then North, and then if it goes to 1-1 and we have a tiebreaker, then we'll be on Land of Fire. For
And how these teams handle the Sea Point and Land of Fire is going to be a masterclass, I suspect.
Absolutely, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they deploy if we get that far. But of course, we've got to get through the other two maps first. And as we said yesterday, these maps are kind of similar, these first two, in terms of the tactics. Right, so both teams are reporting ready. I'll be on the Axis side, so I'll be switching over. So don't confuse the colours there on my stream. Axis will be green when we go into the match, and TWA will be green on Yusral's stream.
Indeed. One of the things that may well change for the next King of the Sea is map colors versus friendly hostile colors.
Yeah, it is slightly confusing. That's true. A little bit while we're
Yes.
waiting for the teams to press go. One bit of housekeeping. So there is a 5 minute delay. So we've decided today, instead of doing giveaways all the way through, what we might do is we will do some giveaways, but we're also just going to drop codes randomly into chat. At least I am. Yisrael, are you going to do the same thing? I think you are.
It's going to be random codes in chat, maybe one every couple of games or so.
Yeah.
So just
So
keep an eye on
keep your
both chat streams through the multi-Twitch link,
keep your
and
keep your eyes
I
peeled.
will I
Um,
will drop that into my Twitch chat so you can follow both
oh,
chats and both streams, get both perspectives, um, and of course get into all the giveaways as well.
some chatter. Hang on, wait, what's going on here? There's some chatter in the room chat about who gets kicked. What? None. Never mind. What?
Yes, they Axis are, I believe, switching one of their load players out. So that's legal within the rules, of course. You can only field 9, but you can have substitute players in your team.
Yes, there's spirits are quite high. I think there's a lot of banter going on. No,
Yes, there
not
is.
just from the teams either. Mm. One of the organisers turned up with a Kreml.
Of course, comrade, proper discipline must be enforced.
Yeah, that's a good point. Actually, that's going to be an interesting ship to see in the future. Assuming it
Yes.
goes live roughly like it is at the moment, work in progress. Um,
Yes, one of the reasons you don't see 457 Conquerors, of course, is that they only have 4 guns forward. Kreml, of course, points 6 guns forward, so
it has that
that
double
could
whammy
change
of
things around.
the high fire chance plus the massively hard hitting AP. I think it could be a contender, possibly, although the range is going to let it down, I think. But it'd be interesting to see.
The range and the accuracy are
Yep,
going to let
absolutely.
it down
But
because
it may have a role.
it's Kreml is brutal when she gets up close, but she's got to get up close. And in this meta at this level of play, that's not as easy as it sounds.
No, it'd be interesting to see if anyone chooses it. Do you like my mug, by the way? Don't know if you won't see it for 5 minutes, but yeah, I have a special mug. Chat might
Ah,
appreciate that. It has a special pocket in it that you put a biscuit in.
so the
Which
biscuit ends up warm but not soggy. I
no, the
approve.
biscuit doesn't make it out of the kitchen because I put the biscuit in the pocket, and then by the time I sit down, I've eaten the biscuit. So it's pretty much pointless.
Ah, well,
But it looks
well,
cool.
in theory, the biscuit would end up warm but not soggy. It's that's funny until you have a chocolate chip biscuit, at which point you're going to end up with just melted
Oh
chocolate.
yeah, no. The choice of biscuit is very important, right? So yeah, nothing melty, and also it's not wide enough, unfortunately, for custard cream, which is perhaps my favourite biscuit. So you have to go for something,
That
and
that
big
is a
round
very
biscuits. Big round biscuits won't go in either. So because it's not.
that is a very serious design flaw. You have just ruled out
Yeah,
custard creams and
yeah.
digestive
The
biscuits. I
the best
mean,
the best
there's
ones
not much
are
left.
shortcake fingers work quite well, and Nice work quite well. Um, yeah, but
Yes,
yeah.
we are
Right, so we're
having some
just
technical
yeah.
difficulties, but
There's So what's going on basically is Axis seem to have brought an extra player.
yeah, as noted, that's legal within the rules. So the teams can, I believe, go up to 15 players, although you could only field 9 at a time.
Yeah, but I think the problem was they were all readied up, which is obviously not allowed. So they're just trying to figure out
Yes.
who's
I think it
not
doesn't
playing.
help. I think it doesn't help that a couple of players have had client crashes as well.
Yeah, indeed.
Someone just suggested in chat we could just decide the match by who crashes less.
well, well, ironically, that is sometimes the case, isn't it? Where unfortunately, yeah, I mean, you'd sometimes get restarts for crashes, but unfortunately, if a crash happens during the
Absolutely.
middle of a match, that's kind of tough luck, really. So,
Yes.
but we haven't seen any of those yet, I don't think.
No.
I
We've not
realise
seen
I've
a
just
mid.
jinxed. I realise I've just jinxed half of it every team in this match to crash, but yeah,
We've
that
not
wouldn't
we've
be nice.
not seen a 10-minute crash. Generally, if something explodes, it does so either in the training room lobby or it does so in the first couple of minutes.
Yeah, it's funny actually. Maybe it's something to do with launching the training room and joining the training room that tends to provoke crashes, maybe. But
Maybe, maybe, maybe.
yeah, you're right. It doesn't seem to happen.
Wargaming have lined up some improvements to the port UI for I believe it's the next patch, so
It is, and
that will
I've had
hopefully help.
I've had a look at it, and there we go. Match is launched. Um,
Okay, right. Let's
so
get this
we're
show on the
off, and
road.
I have to remember to press my switch teams button. Okay. When the match is loaded, we'll load in. I will be sporting my St Patrick's Day camo today because it is St Patrick's Day.
Yay! And right, okay, so first surprise is that TWA have not fielded a destroyer and they've not fielded a Yamato. We have a Burgoyne facing off against the Yamato instead, and Alexander has taken a Montana over Scorpion Tons Republique.
Both midways, which is not surprising.
Yep. Both teams fielding two Henris. Interestingly, we have a pair of Minotaurs facing off against a pair of Stalingrads.
Indeed, that's an interesting mix, but that no doubt the Henris will be tasked with trying to rain fire upon anything that sits still.
In fairness, that is one of the best solutions for dealing with an angry Stalingrad. Just burn it to the waterline.
I have such nerves right now to shoot Flambus, but I mustn't.
It's all right.
Okay, and we are off.
Let's see what the teams are doing. So, rocket planes already up, and the usual dumping of squadrons to save on casualties. Looks
Axis are
like we're
not doing that.
seeing TWA are doing what looks like, and I want to say it's an AC split, but it could be an A grab with a BC denial.
Yeah, we've got kind of an AC split, but with the Montana, looks like he's going to hang around in the middle just to do bit of watch and spot and snipe. I think just to the start of the
Yes.
match. We're going mostly heavy Charlie by the looks of it.
Okay, that'll be interesting because, of course, Charlie. I've seen teams pull Charlie, and you do have to go heavy, heavy into Charlie to make it work, or you just get tar pitted and ground down. Interestingly, Blood Legend, who has taken a Moskva rather than a Stalingrad, has taken a couple of bits of early scratch damage from the spotting, and Senshi Isamu in the carrier, they're just holding off, content to spot but stay out of the flak range. And that's absolutely classic carrier play at this level.
So the Axis Montana has obviously he's gone forward and then just watched where the other team's going, and he's now turned left. You can probably see him. So he's going to be heading over to support Alpha. So we've got Stalingrad, Henri, Montana on one side, and then everything else on the other side. Although the Grozhevoy of Yesod is just working his way into the back of Bravo. You probably can't see that. I
They
think
haven't
he's
seen it yet, and the again,
while the carrier is down on the J line for some reason. I think that maybe they're trying to get an early snipe on the carrier or something. But yeah, Yesod's probably going to get into the cap. Whether he'll get to cap it is another question.
well, right now, Kinemod is actually running J-line spotting again. He's quite content. He can see the midway, he can see the Montana and the Stalingrad. So Senshi at this point is being forced to turn in. I wonder if he's going to try and park behind the island at Gulf 6, get up close, get behind something solid so he can't be shot, and get a much shorter flight time on his planes in the mid to late game.
There's a very risky bit of that journey though, which is the bit underneath between B and C before he gets tucked in behind the island. That's going to be
Yes.
extraordinarily risky.
Yes,
He's
he's got
actually
great cover. he's got great cover to do that, and
No,
really he needs
he's
some
not
suppression
he's not doing
fire
it.
on the channel. So yeah,
Since he has stopped, he's still on the eye line and he's going to stay there, I think.
okay. But the smoke cloud is up, so Yesod presumably
Yesod
slowly
is reversing.
backing into
Yep,
point B.
yep. He's just about to flip.
Classic tactics.
There we go.
He's telegraphing, of course, and the B cap has started to flip. So right now, Kinemod is going to be heading straight there to see what he can pick up. He won't see anything, of course, between the smoke and the fighters, but he might drop some blind fire in there. But
Yesod did a little bit of a mistake on his smoke there. He just reversed back a little bit too far.
Wow, he just drifted out of the smoke, and he's going to get betrayed by physics. But Mokushi 55 pushes in.
I actually think from Yesod, I think that might have been a deliberate play to try and bait the radar, but obviously nothing happened. So
I wouldn't necessarily say deliberate to bait the radar, because honestly, the radar would pop the moment they saw the smoke and the capture. I wonder if it's deliberate to cover Mokuchi in, so that either the two of them cap together, or Yesod subs out and goes on to C, while Mokuchi makes the cap in B. But they're not doing that either. They're both content to stay in the smoke and stay out of the cap point.
What's in Alpha?
The Minotaur, interestingly.
Okay.
Proac 3, making him
He's just been spotted.
An early cap. He has been spotted, but, well, that's a Minotaur. And everything on that gun... Sorry, every gun on that ship is an anti-air gun. So Senshi, unsurprisingly, being a little cagey about how he runs his attack. He's looking for a straight stern-to-bow approach there, if anything. But the longer he leaves it, the quicker the Minotaur will be able to get back into the overlap from the Moskva and the Henris. So
we saw a match like this yesterday where Alpha Cap got capped, and then the Southern team didn't have anything there to actually go and recap it. So that Alpha Cap is probably going to stay red or green from your point of view for quite a long time.
Yes, and Senshi's lost a few planes. I think he's thinking better of an attack run. He's just backing off, keeping the Minotaur spotted, and setting Proac up for some artillery. Although, interestingly, Fielding has actually put shots onto Blood Legend instead, whether he's... and their AP as well, so maybe he's just switching rounds, I don't know. Meanwhile, I'm guessing it's Yesod who's tiptoed back into point B.
Yeah, he's just sitting there quite calmly, capping it. I think he got reset at one point because it was more capped than that at one point, so I think he got reset. But he's currently...
there might have been a bit of blind fire.
Yeah,
point C seems to have turned into a bit of a Mexican standoff. Idea and Leitung on one corner, Guitarist Thing on the other, so deadlock between the two Stalingrads there, and nobody's in a hurry to charge into no man's land.
No, you notice
Yamato on one side and a Bulgoin on the other.
They've got almost a mirror image set up there with the two Henris and the two Stalingrads and the two battleships. The difference, of course, is the Worcester and the Minor are in slightly different positions from each other, but basically a standoff. Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
And so here's the thing with the Stalingrad there and taking some fire. Yesod can't really poke in at the moment because he will get radared and blammed in pretty short order. But if they can force Idea off the corner, or even sink him, because he's down to 47,000, and I think that's a fire he's got ticking. Yes, it is. Then Yesod can try to work in. He's got the spotting, and really, TWA don't have a stealthy ship to match Yesod in that regard.
No, absolutely not. Bit of a, as you say, a bit of a minefield to go into, but if they can make it work, that would be great. Midway had a look at the Montana there of Zelax, Zelaxander, but thought better of it, I think, and he's just going to go around and spot the Henri and the Stalingrad over by Alpha instead, I think.
Yes.
And great. Equally... There's great fighter cover from both carriers so far, I think.
Of course, and Senshi's picking for that. I think he's going to try to dislodge. Yeah, there's the turn. He's trying to dislodge Idea, get some more fires burning. He'll get one pass in, that's a Midway squadron, but I don't know how many planes he's going to have left after it. There's the climb, pitches over, goes for the drop, and...
pretty good on the back.
He did a good chunk of damage, and that's at least one fire burning as well.
Yep, I think that is one.
Axis have very definitely identified Idea right now as being the pivot point on the east side of this map.
Yeah,
that's
I think
the block they need to get rid of.
He is their keystone at the moment, and once he's gone, it's going to make it a lot easier for them to push into Charlie and take some Axis. Yep, on Idea, I think. Although he's just backing off around the corner, so I think a lot of the ships have lost shots on him, so they're going for the Angel Stone's Bourgogne instead.
And that's kind of the thing, really. The point is not so much the gunnery, it's the fact that he can radar, and he can go in and just ping up the Grozavoy if it tries anything and sets up for the Minotaur and the Burgoyne's guns. Okay, essentially coming right back with the rockets. He's looking for another fire, and I think he might have got it.
I'm not sure if that's the same fire that's still burning. I think it probably is.
Yeah. Right, and there's the radar. So Yesod got maybe a little bit greedy, tapped into B. He's drawn the radar now, and idea
He's
perhaps
Yesod
gone a
with a
bit too
broken.
far forward. He's taking a lot of fire.
Yesod
Yesod's
trying
had
to
to break
run,
away.
but he's got a broken engine, so he's not running very fast.
Yeah, well, not very fast by Russian standards, but idea is exposed. He's got the Yamato breathing down, well, breathing down his throat, really, but they're both burning. But idea is down to 8,800 health, 5,400 health. He's contained the fires and he's backing around the corner. I don't think he's going to clear that Yamato's line of fire.
48.
48 hit points.
One more, and he is down.
One more, and he is gone. Right, the radar has gone on point C.
TWA's cornerstone is gone.
Is that going to be the moment where the keystone cracked and TWA's bridge starts falling into the river?
Now they need to Axis need to coordinate this carefully because the Minotaur of Proac has pushed into Bravo, so they're going to need to be a little bit careful with getting shot in the side by the miner. So
Senshi is risking his bombers here. He's going straight in, trying to get drops, gets the reset, gets a couple of fires and a decent wodge of damage. But back in point C, it is Showmaker's turn to brave basically the machine guns. Willis and Yoshi are both firing on him. He's down to less than 12,000 health. 5,000 health. There's a fire.
Miners on him as well.
Burgoyne shooting and the Minotaur as well. 3,006, 2,008. I think the hotel is about to close for business.
One apiece.
There it goes. One apiece, and now it's kind of looking a bit rough for Axis as well because they really need that heavy gunfire support to take down the Burgoyne and dislodge it. They're going to have to go for a burn at this point. Kinemod's providing spotting, but Yesel's back in that cap, and he's going to be hard to find with his flak off.
Absolutely.
Kinemod's going to have to run the whole thing, and that's going to be flying over the Worcester and the Stalingrad. Mokushi arrive on site. There's the cap. Right,
Yesod very sensibly moving to the AA side there, so to get some cover, because I think the midway dive bombers of TWA, they were looking for a spot, but they didn't get it.
Absolutely, they didn't get in time. Proac 3 smoked up behind the iron, so he is probably going to secure B. So that will turn 2-5. But we have blind fire coming in from the Montana. He is nicely defilated, though, so XL Alexander is not going to find anything there. Well, except a lot of water and some very angry rock enthusiasts. But it's in point C where it's kind of degenerated back into no man's land, but this time the firepower advantage is very firmly with TWA. The Honori of Tito on his own, isolated from the flak, takes another midway strike, is down to 17,000 and burning. I don't think, however, that Yoshi and Wales are in any position to capitalize on that. So he's going to be able to break away.
No, and that your Mino and Henri over on the 10 line there, they're going to really struggle to get back into the fight here because from that position they can't cap Charlie and they can't really support Bravo, so it's hard to see what they're going to do next. I was expecting to see some movement over towards Bravo from Axis, but actually they're not. They're just solidifying their hold on Charlie.
Yes, and the health bars are still close. The kills are even. And there's the Henri. Angel Stone of the Burgoyne gets a long-range sniper shot. So it's down to the Stalingrad, the Grodzavoy, and the Worcester on Axis's side. But that's enough firepower to make TWA very reluctant to push into point C right now.
Worcester of
And we're starting to see a shift west from Yoshi. Will is quite content to stay where he is and act as a base of fire. Angelstone, interestingly, is also backing off, possibly because I think he has got line of fire from Montana, and there are torp bombers coming in.
Can you see the push through Charlie? So we've got Mokuchi and Yesod and Guitaristing have all pushed right into Charlie. They're trying to get up behind the islands to stop any chance of TWA pushing Charlie. So
they've seen Mokuchi moving up in the channel. They've picked up Guitaristing moving north. You see, they haven't seen Yesod, of course. And perhaps more worryingly, Senshi at this point is coming in and trying to finish off Angelstone. We've had one torp drop, we've got another two in the water, and it's Guitaristing that gets the flanking shot and drops the Burgoyne. So that is
Proac
one
is
battleship
currently
apiece
radared.
down.
Proac's currently radared by Makuchi. There's some torps going in from Yesod, and there's some return torps as well coming back, but I don't think any of those are going to hit any... Oh, actually, maybe the Minotaur's torpedoes might just get the Worcester on the nose. No, he's missed, and they are spotted.
He's missed, right. And Proac, not stupid, knows there's trouble coming from that Worcester. They got the contact in the channel. He is legging it as fast as he can. He does not want to show broadside in a Minotaur, not even to a Worcester's rapid-fire guns. That's a good way to get riddled with shells. Bombers come down on Proact. He takes another 5,000-6,000 hit. No fire, though. So he is clear and away. And, well,
Both
temporarily
teams...
clear away, because if he goes much further forward, he's going to be in front of Guitar Sting's guns.
Absolutely, and both teams starting to close in on Bravo a little bit here. So we've got the Henri Stalingrad Montana triplet between Alpha and Bravo on the Axis side, just starting to push up and put a bit of pressure onto Bravo. TWA responding with their 3 ships.
Which brings you to the point of over on A, where Axis are trying to bring their heavy support up into the AB gap. They're advancing Alexander and the Montana. Fjording's providing some cover fire, as is Mecro. But they've got Sneaky Slave on their left flank, and I don't think they've quite seen him yet, although he is lobbing shells in. So again, it's basically the push into no man's land, and B is capping courtesy of the Worcester, I believe.
B is capping courtesy of Yesod in the Grozhevoy.
Torpedoes away. Senshi, again, picking on an isolated ship, gets 2 into Proac. Don't think he's started a flood. Nope, looks quiet, but, well, that's a torpedo bomber squadron, although
Worcester of Makuchi now opening up on the Minotaur. He's smoked. Worcester's radar is on cooldown. Maybe the start...
Proac's been forced out of the smoke already. So
Guitaristing in Charlie is in trouble.
Yeah,
1,000, and he's down.
Goes down, ran straight into both Minotaur and the Unreal, though it was the Minotaur's superstructured backer that got the shots there, Yoshi making the kill. Actually, no, it was the Midway that got the kill. My apologies to the carrier drivers.
So the Midway now of Senshi is pushing up into Charlie, which I'm assuming he's either going to stop or turn left, because obviously if he keeps going, he's going to be in trouble. So
my guess would be we'll see him swing left into channel. Honestly, I would have expected him to stop at Foxtrot 8 on the southern coast and not risk the dash.
Yeah, he's turning right. I think he's just going to do a U-turn.
Okay, that's interesting, because I could see him going into the channel mid-late game. He's got the Grozhevoy and possibly the Worcester as cover, and he's then got a very quick turnaround on his planes, and he can really put the damage on. He can start picking off damaged ships like Proac.
We've got a bit of
pressure on Yoshi.
We've got a bit of brawling brewing here. So we've got the Henri of Fjording up against Blood Legend and Sneaky Snake in the Alpha Cap.
Yes. Snake, interestingly, is quite content to keep throwing AP.
2 torps on Legend.
The shells over into Alexander, but it didn't really work. And they say Blood Legend was full health. Now he's flying half a ship, sailing half a ship. Torpedo bombers down onto Fjording, however. He's seen them, but he's backing up, so he doesn't really have steerage way to do anything about it.
Is Alexander?
See weapons. No, was that a dummy drop from
Montana is down.
From Kinemod?
Montana of Alexander goes down.
Right, so the only battleship left is Scorpion tank, but those big guns could maybe mess up the Worcester, but he's sitting too far back to really do serious work elsewhere. And I think Sneaky Snake might be trying to just charge in and brawl his counterpart in the Henri. It's a mirror match, of course, but Sneaky does have the health advantage. On the other hand, both ships have torpedoes, so that can disappear really, really quickly.
And of course, if it did come to something like a ram, then at the moment TWA have the ship advantage, so that would be in their advantage.
They also have the points advantage, 966 to 620, 50
a ram would win it for them, so that's exactly what he's trying to do, I think. No, he's not. He's going to go for a torp turn. Axis, interestingly, going for a ram.
There's the torp launch. There is the kill. And Axis, I think, at that point realized that the best thing they could do was to exercise some combat tactics and try and get inside the torpedo detonators, but it didn't work. So,
right, so 1-0 to TWA.
TWA.
Oh, that's not happened. Oh, you have to switch the amateur stats. Amateur. There we go.
So next match is going to be North.
Absolutely.
TWA 1-up, Axis fighting to stay in the match.
Yeah, so if TWA win this, because it's best of 3, TWA will go through to the quarterfinals.
Indeed. Where they will face either No War or... No, that's wrong. TWA. Right, I don't have that in front of me. They're going into the other half of the bracket, the one we aren't covering.
Yep, so let me just bring it up. So TWA, the winner of this match, will meet the winner of RT versus Shen.
Okay, both teams, I believe, cleared their groups 3-0, so that is going to be a very interesting match for whoever covers that one.
Yeah, indeed, that's going to be streamed, I think, by Flamu Kirin, and potentially, if Shen go in, I think it'll be a French stream on the other side as well. So,
okay, right. So all to play for going into the second match, and if you were in my chat, it's a little late now, but there will have been a code 5 minutes ago. So
yeah, I was just about to drop some in. So 5 minutes ago, you will have seen a code drop in. Put that in now. Copy paste, copy paste, copy paste, copy paste. Quickly. Someone. Whenever I've tried to grab those codes that get randomly dropped into people's chats, I'm never fast enough. Despite the fact that I've got my mouse hovering literally over the chat window and I've got the claim thing open, someone is always faster. There's just some ridiculously fast people out there.
Yes, I've seen some attempts to do it by replacing one of the random characters with a question mark, but we'll see. As you say, it's down to who's fastest on the copy paste.
So some people in my chat 5 minutes ago were asking what these codes are that we're dropping into chat. They are all 2 standard air supply container codes. If you're asking what they are, so just grab it, claim it.
A little bit of a boost on your British carrier collection.
They'll give you some florins, 50 florins each, so 100 florins per code. Chance of a ship mission, I think, very small chance of a ship mission. Collection items for the collection there.
And something my chat just flagged up is that these codes are first come, first served, so they are not multi-use.
Nope, they are not. Chrysanthemum Crest, I think, has managed to copy and paste mine quickly enough to win.
Okay, so teams are showing ready for go number 2.
And we're off.
We are away. Right, so changes to the battleship lineup. We have Yamatos being deployed rather than, well, Scorpion Town has switched his Republique for a Yamato.
We saw that yesterday on this map as well, with teams switching to Yamato on this map because of the sort of sniping opportunity.
And interestingly, both teams are taking an extra honoree. It looks like Axis have dropped their Worcester.
I think this, to me, that says both teams are expecting this map to be very campy.
Yes, so they're going for the fire starters. They're going for the overmatch. They're dropping their destroyers as well, so there's not much room for stealth on this map, not with the carriers and the narrow angles of approach coming in. Yeah, this is going to be down to whoever shoots fastest and straightest. Couldn't resist temptation, could you?
Okay, and we are off.
Let's see how this goes.
So, Axis need to win this to stay in. If they lose this, they are out and TWA are through. If Axis manage to pull it back and go 1-1, then we will see a tiebreaker. So we have on the south side, we've got what looks like a heavier A side. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, 5 on the A side and 3 on the Charlie side.
Indeed. We're seeing what looks like a 4-4 split on the TWA side. Yoshi, I thought initially was maybe going to try and push for the coastline, but he got spotted by Senshi. He's jinking away to avoid fire incoming from Guitaristing. He might turn back once he's back into stealth, but we'll see. Senshi content to just run the line and pick up as many of the TWA team members as he can. Scorpion Tank had a little clunk with Kinemod. I think he lost his momentum there and about 10 health, but he'll be cursing the loss of about 20 knots of speed. He's got to get that back, and that is going to delay him into his firing position. Taking the opportunity, though, the amateurs are trading shells more or less broadside to broadside, although at this range and with evasives from both teams, I think everybody pretty much missed.
Yeah, it's an interesting tactical choice as to whether to control your speed and maybe dodge some shells, but take more shells in total in the long run, or whether you just keep pushing and hope that you don't get blapped.
I think the keep pushing and hope you don't get blapped argument tends to win that one. As you say, the slow approach does tend to result in more shells overall, and therefore a higher chance of a blap. Actually, it was just because he collided with, I think it was Kinemod. So both teams again stretch out. Nobody really wants to go barreling straight into no man's land. Senshi, interestingly, looking for a torpedo run on the Burgoyne. I wonder if they've decided that Angel Stone needs to be eliminated early, because you don't normally see a carrier driver get that aggressive in the early game.
No, but he has, and he's got 2 torps.
He's got 2 hits. More to the point, I think he's forced Angel Stone to turn hard off his course. And again, that's going to slow him into his firing position.
Absolutely. On the Charlie side, actually on both sides, we're not seeing any particular advance other than Axis pushing up quite aggressively into Alpha. But on the Charlie side, they're actually kiting away. So I wonder whether we'll see them make a play for Alpha here.
I would be less convinced of that. I think what we're going to see is the teams content to just swap rounds at about the 15-kilometer bracket. And whoever basically loses the initial gunfight is going to be the team that starts getting on the receiving end of a push.
So I think Yesod, of course, who isn't in a destroyer this time, he's in a Minotaur, I think is going to play destroyer here. He's going to try and smoke himself and perhaps the Worcester of Makuchi into the Alpha cap to try and get the cap. Yep, I think that's pretty much what we're going to see here. A little bit of a risky push.
Not really, because they don't have radar.
They don't have radar. That's very true. Unless Blood Legend comes a bit closer. But he's quite a way back.
Blood Legend to do that, he's going to have to turn flat broadside and then close the range himself. There's the smoke from Yesod, so they're trying that early push. Idea was looking for the dive, but didn't really have it, so he's contented himself with dropping fighters to mostly die horribly.
Burgoyne of Agelstone got a little bit of a chunk on Yesod there, but he's okay. He's down to 36. He's fine. He's just popped out the front of his smoke. I don't know whether that was intentional to get spotting or whether that was a bit of a potato. I'm not entirely sure. Can you see Yesod?
He actually got away with it.
Okay.
So
I suspect he might be there for spotting.
Maybe, but he's going to have to duck back pretty sharp because Idea's bringing in his torpedoes. He's going to blind drop that smoke. He'll lose the squadron. Now they've seen Yesod, who is backing up in smoke. Fighters are on the torp bombers. 3, 2, 1. Right, fish in the water. So he dropped his bombers, dropped his torps relatively early on.
Yesod
drop into the smoke. This isn't about.
Yesod has popped his Hydro.
This is about trying to force the Axis ships out of or at least out of their smoke.
So Yesod having to reverse. He's been very unlucky with the torpedoes dispersion here. He's having to do a bit of an S reverse to get out of the way, which is probably going to mean that he's going to leave the cap to avoid them.
Doesn't matter though.
Doesn't matter. He's got the cap.
And the torps actually ran out of range. They were looking for intimidation. I wonder if perhaps the UI perspective fooled Idea for a second.
It's entirely possible. Or as you say, there was just a psychological trick to get them to back off. Either way, it didn't work. So Idea now looking to bring dive bombers down into the mid and do some spotting, perhaps. Meanwhile, over on Charlie, it looks like we've got Scorpion Tank and when my camera stops moving, Kinemod moving down to maybe put a bit of pressure on Charlie.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily moving down because Kinemod is actually stern first
He
towards
is, but
Axis. So
Scorpion
he's
is going forwards.
angled, but I think he's making ready to book it hard if he gets
And
focused
ooh,
by the
and
Montana.
and Sneaky Snake has actually flanked all the way down to the halfway line, and is currently getting some lovely AP crossfire going on Mecro.
Indeed. I know we tell people to stay off the 10 line on this map, but it does have its uses.
Well,
Just
you know,
not on
the,
the
the
20.
sign the sign says no battleships, and he's not a battleship, so fair play.
You could have fooled me.
Yes.
Goat Wizard dug in. They're trying to put focus fire onto Mecro at the moment. Just take the Stalingrad out of the equation. And Scorpion, I think, will then probably switch his fire over onto Alexander. Just, again, trying to take the big guns out of the equation. But Mecro is gone.
Mecro is down.
Idea comes in with the support fire and gets the kill. Kinemod, I think that's why Kinemod's at the angle he is. He's trying to get all three turrets on to get a fire started while still having enough armor angle that he can bounce Alexander's shells off his main belt.
Yeah, and I think he's been pretty successful at that so far. Alexander is definitely aiming at the Henri, or is he going for the Yamato? Let's have a look at where these shells go. I think it's
Well, he's going
Kinemod.
high X. It could be either of them. It depends on the range
No, it
tracking.
was
It
the
was the
Yamato.
Yamato. So high explosives, of course, right ammo choice because he can't overmatch the Yamato's bow. However, Yamato can most definitely plow through his deck and his belt at that range. So he's going to lose this trade. To be
Alexander,
perfectly
yeah,
frank,
he's
he's down.
being forced away.
Yeah, he's down to 20,000. He's on fire. I suspect that's a permanent shock, given that he's had an
I
Henri
would
beating on him for several minutes.
I would guess Alexander will try and go unspotted here, but with the planes there, he's not going to manage it for a while yet.
Yeah, we'll see if he muzzles his gun. But as you say, rockets coming in. There's the fire, and that could be permanent, given that the fire either damconned or ran out itself a few seconds ago. The real
So
problem, however, is going to be Scorpion's main battery. That must be just about reloaded by now. And with the planes spotting more rounds in from Sneaky Snake, more rockets down, Alexander's in real trouble now. I don't think he is going to be able to keep that ship of his afloat for much longer.
keep an eye on Yesod at Bravo, making a move. It looks like he's going to attempt to maybe push in. He's got quite a lot of support there if he does. Although
Yeah.
he's got to watch out for the Henri and the Bourgogne there.
Yes, and in particular, he's got to watch out for the Bourgogne because all Angelstone would have to do at that range is just poke out, level those, what is it, 420 millimeter, no, 15-inch guns, and
It's big
nine
enough
of
for
those,
a
12 of
Minotaur. Put
those.
it that way.
Yeah, it's going to be boom headshot time if he does poke out. In fact, he's actually smoked up and he's starting to rain armor piercing onto Willis. So he's looking to even the odds a little. But Axis are going to have to do something because they're 50 down and they're 2 ships down.
Ooh. So Axis pinging around the Henri of Fjording there. I think maybe some commands being given for him to move off.
And Yoshi EU just taking the opportunity to just tiptoe in to point A. I think that may be why they're designating Fjording as a target, because Fjording's really the only one who can put any kind of disruptive fire onto Yoshi in his current position. So if he is down or distracted, then that's an A grab.
Are you aware that Makuchi is sitting right there? So he's
They're
right.
not.
He's
They
right
have the
next to
last
Yoshi.
contact marker, but
he's 5 kilometers away from Yoshi. So
yeah, this could get interesting.
So Henri obviously will now be opening up on Yoshi.
The other question, of course, is whether or not well, Yoshi is going bow on and digging in on Fjording, but that means that the Worcester will be able to just come round the corner and start unloading. And
unfortunately, he's facing the wrong way, so he's having to reverse around the corner. But he's not. Oh no, he is. He's just started reversing.
He's not going to jam the cap though. There's the cap, so he can stop the scoring and deadlock things. But he might have to go in front of Blood Legend in the process.
So Makuchi's
going to be uncomfortably open on Blood Legend's main battery.
Makuchi's radar is down, so he's popped his Hydro to keep Yoshi spotted.
Yeah, and right now it's a question of who manages to shoot. Yoshi takes some big hits there. Fording, I believe, can overmatch. I'm trying to remember the caliber of the Honoree's main battery guns.
They are 240s, 220s, 240s, 220s, two somethings.
That should be over
I'm
match grade
I'm
for
pretty sure he can. Yes.
yeah, that should be over match grade for Minotaur's main battery. And yeah, Fjording is throwing armor piercing. Yoshi, well, aware of it, he's got himself nose down. He's behind the island, and he can just block Fjording's shots. Well, Angel Stone blams Yesod. Yesod poked out a bit too far and got himself into trouble.
However, now
And
it's the
Showmaker is in the camp.
mostly healthy Showmaker against the not quite so healthy Bourgogne. So we'll see
Yes,
what happens
and
there.
this is where I think the rapid reaction of the midway is going to come into play. Ideas recovering bombers at the moment. He should put torpedo bombs up, maybe circle round. Yeah, there's a launch from
That looks
Idea.
like a
Torpedoes hit
very
water,
nice
that's a
drop.
B6.
Oof.
Yeah.
Oof. That's going to sting.
Very
Yep.
oof. So 15,000 and ticking. The fire is going. He's flooding as well. If he doesn't have a dam con, he is doomed.
Idea coming back for the drop.
And
He's
just to
going
make
get
sure Idea's coming back with the other drop, and that's
not
another
quite
six.
so accurate on those ones, but we're still going to get 3, I
Doesn't
think.
need to be. In fact, I think that might be
1, 2, 3.
deliberate because remember, if he goes accurate,
Possible.
then the Yamato's torpedo belt would eat
Yep.
the majority of it. As it
Very true.
was, he knocked him down to a couple of thousand. Showmaker is healing, and he's managed to defilade from Angel Stone, but Willis is still got line of fire.
And it's a permafire.
There's another fire, and that will at the very least contain the
Idea coming back
repair
with
party.
the dive bombers, and as we know, these things do not hold any
bombers
punches.
on Angel Stone, though, so the
Not gonna need
cannons are
them.
both rapid reacting, and unfortunately, Idea got there first.
So
Angel Stone takes
TWA,
one.
TWA now starting to close the. Oh.
French torpedo beat. Angel Stone gets right through the Senshi torpedoes and ducks away. So he is now in a decent position to put some pressure onto B if he so chooses. And TWA are coming around the flank. They are through C and just turning the vice. I think this might be goodbye to Axis.
Yep, I think this is where we're going to see the sheepdogs of TWA herding Axis down into that bottom corner for the final kill.
Yeah. And the Henri is around, and in fact, Sneaky Snake, who's taken relatively little fire throughout this entire match, but has been dishing out good shot return. Guitar Sting goes down, Idea bagging his second kill from the dive bombers. And at this point, really, the dive bombers are going to have free reign. Fjording's too far out to have any mutual flak support. Ito is doing what he can. They can try to re-blob, but that will leave only 3 of them vulnerable to main battery fire from multiple angles. So they don't have many options left at this stage.
Apart from calling for TWA surrender, which is what they've just done in chat.
Possibly.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if the Shadowmaker meant we're waving the flag or you should wave the flag. I don't know.
Well, Fjording's on fire, so I think the flag may have burned to ash.
Maybe.
Oh, no, he's put it out, but 2,500 health in the Moskva in front of him, and rocket planes coming in as well. As Yeso puts it, first time in COTS, and they got to the round of 16. That is a very notable achievement.
Not a bad effort at all.
Indeed. Hopefully we'll see more of them in King of the Sea 9.
Undoubtedly we will.
And yeah, the TWA just administering last rites at this point. They've got a massive ship advantage. That's the thing about North. Once that first ship goes, the dominoes start to topple, rather.
Yeah, and you've got enough.
You could crumble dominoes, but it'd be messy.
Well, quite hard work, I'd imagine, as well. But yeah.
Ito there got multiple shots inbound and got wrecked down to almost nothing. Willis looking for the kill, and
there he goes.
There it goes. Goat Wizard gets the shot, so it is down to just Senshi in the midway, who I suspect is going to do his best to pull in some damage before the end.
But Leitung coming down for the spot, and I suspect Leitung won't strike. He'll just kind of hover around and just spot for the rest.
As much as he can in a midway's
it's kind of tricky.
He's dropped his fighters, but they're not going to last long. Essentially, will pop his own fighters on automatic, of course.
Enough for the team to get one volley each out, though, so we'll see what happens.
And interestingly, he's dropped it so far out that I think he might have actually... No, there's the long-range flak going up. So Leitung is going to lose his fighters, but it's going to be enough for the main batteries of the rest of the team to finish Ishimu off. Haven't updated the score again. Whoops, never mind. Sorry.
I think Senchi might even be slowing down just to make it easy for them. Although ironically, I think that's making it harder for them because they're missing their shots. But
actually,
no, he's definitely making it difficult for them.
Out.
No, he's definitely he's being difficult.
He's going for pride here. Can't say I blame him. Leighton coming in with the torpedo bombers because there's nothing else to shoot at. And there we go, close drop. 6 in the water to hurt him. 17,000, 13,000. 12, 9, 2, 655.
It's not going to be the torps.
Actually be... Yep. No, it's not. It's going to be the Amato's 46 centimeter shells. So, TWA take the win and go through to the quarterfinals. Axis, sadly, go out. Valiant effort, guys. Hopefully we will see you next time.
Yeah, great effort from Axis there. As you said earlier, you know, for a first-time entrant, that's just brilliant. To get this far is just fantastic. Yeah, very, very good. So yeah, as you said, next time I'm sure that we will see them again, and I'd be very surprised if they don't do extremely well. So they were just very unlucky with their draw because TWA obviously one of the top teams.